Okay, so now that week one is underway, I want to go ahead and make my predictions for the NFL season because I want to get this out of the way right now. Remember, every team goes into the year with renewed hope that it may be their turn to hoist the Lombardi Trophy, but only 14 teams get to make the playoffs. So here are my division winners and wild card teams for the 2024 NFL season. Let's keep this straight. The list is fluid. The list is fluid. All right? AFC East, I got the New York Jets. Aaron Rodgers is there for a reason, damn it. And I ain't going by what I'm going to see Monday night because that is the San Francisco 49ers he's going up against with that defense. I'm certainly not going to act like I'm going to see a big-time performance from Aaron Rodgers, who's had his troubles against San Francisco when he was in Green Bay. But I'd see a drop-off with the Buffalo Bills, and I don't believe in the Miami Dolphins outside of Miami. When there's 90 degrees like it's supposed to be this Sunday, I believe in them. When it's above 70 degrees, I believe in them. When it's below 70 degrees, I don't trust them. And when it's below 40, forget it. I completely give up on them because they're like 0-11 over the last couple of years or so. I don't believe in them. I'm going with the Jets to win the AFC East. To the AFC North, listen, they might have lost the game last night, but I'd be a fool to pick against the Baltimore Ravens. Lamar Jackson is that dude. Derrick Henry is a stud. Zay Flowers and Bateman. Bateman had a spectacular catch, by the way, down the stretch to put them in position to score that winning touchdown that ultimately failed. But in the end, Bateman, Zay Flowers, Mark Andrews, Derek Likely, they got some weapons at every position. They got to fix that offensive line, but I think the Ravens could do it. Isaiah Likely, and Mark Andrews at the tight end spot. I'm just telling you right now, I don't see how you could pick against the Baltimore Ravens, especially with Cincinnati messing around and still having not signed Jamar Chase. Also, and look, Cleveland's a team to watch because, to me, Deshaun Watson's career is on the line. I mean, he's been awful. You know, I don't want to say awful because he was 5-1 as a starter last year, but I'm talking about in comparison to what he once was. Because that same guy, he hasn't been around. He hasn't been around. I'm just looking at him right now, and I'm punching up some stats. I want y'all to know this, okay? This is the Cleveland Browns entering the 2024 season. Deshaun Watson's NFL ranks among 45 quarterbacks with 300-plus pass attempts over the last two seasons. His completion percentage ranks 41st. His yards per attempt ranked 36th. His passer rating ranks 37th. Now, he's made $91.4 million in cash for 12 starts for the Cleveland Browns in that span. You know how much that equates to, y'all? $7.6 million per start, per game. That's what it equates to. And what have you gotten for it? Cleveland got to look to Deshaun Watson and say, step the hell up, especially when you see what C.J. Stroud is doing with the Houston Texans, his former team. Speaking of that, that's who I got winning the AFC South, Houston Texans. You got Dell. You got Nico Collins. You picked up Mixon from Cincinnati. You got another running game. And now you got Stephon Diggs coming from Buffalo, with C.J. Stroud being that dude behind center, with DeMeco Ryans coaching his butt off the way that he does and having that defense uplift this game. Without question, it's the Texans. Got to watch out for Jacksonville to some degree with Trevor Lawrence, who's got his $55 million bag now and all of that stuff. But the Texans, that's the team to watch out for. And last but not least, there's nothing to talk about here, ladies and gentlemen. AFC West. You could say it's because of Patrick Mahomes and the Kansas City Chiefs easily, and that would be true. But the other side to it is, who the hell are the Chargers, the Raiders, and the Broncos? Broncos are starting a rookie in Bo Nix. We don't know who the hell the Raiders are going to have at the quarterback position. Is it Gardner Minshew? I mean, please. O'Connell, whatever. Stop. And then, of course, there's Herbert with the Chargers, and Jim Harbaugh there's your new coach. But Mike Williams, Keenan Allen, all of these brothers are gone. It's clearly the Chiefs. Let's go to the wild card teams right here. I got Miami because they got the cheetah and they got Jalen Waddle and they can put up points in bunches. There's Denver with a test too when they had 70 dropped on them by Miami last year. I've got the Bengals resurrecting themselves because Joe Burrow's a stud, and I got the Cleveland Browns. I got 3 teams out of the AFC North and 2 teams out of the AFC East going to the playoffs, and the division winners for the South and the West. That's what I got. Now let me get to the NFC, okay? It's really, really simple here, ladies and gentlemen. I'm going with the Eagles because the only competition in this division is the Cowboys, and I ain't picking the damn Cowboys. It also helps that they picked up Saquon Barkley. Still got A.J. Brown, Devontae Smith, Dallas Goedert, the second best offensive line in football, some would say. I'm just going to go with the Philadelphia Eagles, and I think that Jalen Hurts is going to resurrect himself this year from 2 years ago because last year he nosedived a bit with 20, he had 20 turnovers or 20 interceptions or, 20 turnovers when he only had 8 the previous year. So I got to look at it from that standpoint. Easy choice for me here was the Philadelphia Eagles. Let's see who we got in the NFC North. It has to be the Detroit Lions. They were in the NFC Championship game last year. They were knocking on the door. I know we saw something from Jordan Love in the second half of the season. Last 8 games, 18 touchdowns, just 1 interception, completing 70% of his passes. I get all of that, but I still believe that the Detroit Lions are here, that Dan Campbell has infused a new culture in that team, and I think they answer the call and they respond to the challenge. And I think they're going to win the NFC North, okay? Let's go to the NFC South. Atlanta Falcons. Whether it's Kirk Cousins or Michael Penix Jr., when you got Bijan Robinson, when you've got the cat that they've got at the tight end spot, when you see some of the things that they're doing as a franchise, and you get a guy like Kirk Cousins coming off of his injuries, I get it. Ultimately, it comes down to who you're going up against. And I think the Atlanta Falcons get this division by default because the Tampa Bay Buccaneers won it last year with a 9-8 record. The only thing good we can say about Tampa Bay last year was that they were 1 game better than Tom Brady was his last year there. And number 2, they did beat the Philadelphia Eagles in the playoffs. But the Tampa Bay Buccaneers did put forth a good showing against Detroit in the playoffs as well. But the Atlanta Falcons have the talent, and they should win this division. The NFC West, so give me, it's the San Francisco 49ers. 4 conference title games and 2 Super Bowl appearances in the last 5 years. They still got C-Mac, Christian McCaffrey. They got Deebo Samuels. They retained Brandon Ayuk for $30 million a year. Okay, you've got George Kittle at your tight end spot, arguably the second best tight end in football behind Travis Kelce. You got an exceptional coach in Kyle Shanahan, and Brock Purdy has proven to be a damn good quarterback, due to get his $50+ million next year as well. So I look at it from that standpoint, and I got them winning the West. To go to the wild card spot, ladies and gentlemen, I'm not sleeping on the Rams. Matthew Stafford, boy, you got Cooper Kupp and Puka Nacua. I'm going to roll with the Rams. I know Aaron Donald is no longer there. I'll be interested to see if he stays away forever. Like if this is it, he'll retire and stay there for good because he still is an all-world player right now. Let's see what happens with that. So you got that going on. Okay, I think the Rams are a team to be reckoned with. Green Bay, I already brought up Jordan Love to you and what they did in the second half of the season. There's no reason to believe why they're not going to continue on their trend to some degree and battle Detroit for supremacy in the NFC North. And then, of course, there is the Dallas Cowboys. You still got Dak Prescott. You signed CeeDee Lamb, so he's going to be there. Micah Parsons is going to be on the field. Defense is switching to a 4-3, led by Mike Zimmer, a former head coach in Minnesota, who's considered a damn good defensive mind. Let's see what they do. They should be stronger and tougher and a bit buffer. And I think we'll see what happens with them. But I think they make the playoffs ahead of Seattle. I think they make the playoffs ahead of, a Tampa Bay. And definitely a Chicago who's got promise, but Caleb Williams is still a rookie. That's just where I'm at with it. Could be wrong, though. That's all I'm trying to say. I gave you my playoff team selections earlier. Here are my predictions for the NFC and AFC championship games and which teams will play in the Super Bowl in New Orleans. Remember, list is fluid. List is fluid, okay? We're going to get to that right now, right here. In the AFC, I said this before last night. I'm looking at the Kansas City Chiefs, especially picking up Xavier Worthy, seeing Rashee Rice, knowing you got Travis Kelce, Clyde Edwards-Helaire, and Isaiah Pacheco in the backfield. I'm looking at Kansas City, and I got them going up against Aaron Rodgers and the New York Jets. Could be wrong, especially after I saw Baltimore last night. But I want to see Aaron Rodgers because this brother right here, people have been talking about him, counting him out, acting like they don't know who the hell he is. I'm telling you right now, Aaron Rodgers is something else, okay? I'm just telling you that right now. And with that being said, looking at it from that standpoint, I think the New York Jets with that defense are going to give themselves a chance. I think they'll be in the AFC Championship game against Kansas City. But I also think Kansas City's going to win. And Patrick Mahomes is going to go to his 5th Super Bowl, trying to win his 4th. In the NFC, I know we see the 49ers. If you're knocking on the door over the last 5 years, 4 trips to the conference finals, 2 trips to the Super Bowl, and you still don't have a Super Bowl championship, I got to give you one last chance. You still got C-Mac. You still got Debo and Kittles and Ayuk and all of these brothers. I got to give you another chance. But who are they going to go against? I wanted to say Detroit so badly. I really, really do. But with the Eagles picking up Saquon Barkley, with him being that security blanket for Jalen Hurts having A.J. Brown and Devontae Smith and Dallas Goedert having one of the top offensive lines in football, I got to think that the Eagles, I know their defense is still a question mark. I just got to believe that the Eagles will find a way to get to the NFC Championship game and go to San Francisco, where they will lose to the 49ers. And it will be a trilogy. The San Francisco 49ers going up against Patrick Mahomes and the Kansas City Chiefs. Except this time, Patrick Mahomes and Kelsey and those bros, they finally fall. I know Brady beat him once when Patrick Mahomes didn't have an offensive line and he was running for his life most of the game. This is different. I see San Francisco, who was knocking on the door, who had a double-digit lead and blew it last year. I mean, how many double-digit leads in the Super Bowl can Kyle Shanahan blow? He blew a 25-point lead as the offensive coordinator in Atlanta. Blew a double-digit lead, not once but twice versus Kansas City. And now I believe, in this case, a 4th time is a charm. 3rd time against Kansas City. 4th time overall Super Bowl. I think it's a charm. I'm picking the San Francisco 49ers to beat the Kansas City Chiefs and win it all. That's where I'm at with it. But it is fluid. It is fluid.